So today we're going to do something a little bit different. We are going to talk to a friend of mine, and this guy is over 50, and he is doing something that's freaking nutty. But before we talk to him, I got to get to the freaking appliance repair place because our microwave, it's on the fritz, and they called me and they told me it was ready to pick up. I got to get there before it closes. So what can I tell you about my friend Rick? Rick is a freaking big bear of a man, but don't let that scare you. The hair gets a little intimidating. Rick and his partner are heading out of town, not for a week or 2 weeks or a month, but for well over a year. And the idea is to go out and travel and live while he can do it really well. And as someone who is over 50 like Rick, I can completely relate to what he's doing, and I'm hoping that you guys can relate too, because his story is interesting. Rick, what is it that you're doing? Tell the good people out there what the hell you're up to.
Well, I did exactly what college kids do only about 40 years later. I decided to quit my job and wander around the world, with no discernible income.
So no discernible income. All right, so you're going to go be a nomad. And what blows me away about this is what pushed you over the edge. As I understand it, you gave your notice, you moved out of your place in Florida, you are on this journey. Talk about what this is about.
Well, some people accuse me of having a midlife crisis in my not-so-midlife. Basically, this is something I've been wanting to do for a very long time. Before, the pandemic and the lockdown, I was actually supposed to be living in Europe. After being locked up for a couple years and hitting 60 and kind of realizing that, maybe I wanted to retire a little differently. I wanted the latter part of my life to be a little different. I just decided to pull the plug. I'm not quitting work. I'm not retiring per se. I'm going to take a gap year. That's what I was alluding to on the college kids. They take a gap year or two on mom and dad's money. Well, I'm doing it on my money. But it's something that I want to do. It's something that I can do while I'm still young and healthy. I mean, who wants to wait till they're 80 to settle down and retire into a Barcalounger? That's not me. There's so many things I want to try, so many things I want to do, both here in the States and abroad. And this is the time to do it.
Can you take the viewers through kind of like what were the finances of it? How did you make this a reality? Because we talk about it, right? And you're doing it, but there's a lot that went on under the hood, I think, to enable you to do this.
When our parents were working, they had, they had pension, they had loyalty through their company, they had a booming housing market. They could count on being able to retire at 65. I can't. I don't think a lot of people my age can. Now, I've saved up quite a bit of money, in fact, but it's not enough to get me through the age of 90 or however long I'm going to live. And so what I realized about 6 months ago was I could take part of that money and live now. Now, frugally, I'm not going to go out and do, five-star resorts. This is going to be very much watch our pennies as we go around the world. But I figure, I can spend about half of my normal salary now for the next couple of years, knowing I'm going back to work. I'm going to go back to having a regular income. It's a gamble. It's a huge gamble, and it's scary as hell. But at the same time, the option of not working and not really living, that wasn't something I wanted to do.
And you used a word there that is a really big word, and that's you're scared. There's fear involved in what you're doing. And I think, as we get older, the risks that we take, the things that we do that put us out there, out of our comfort zone, they just seem to get smaller and smaller. And I really just love the fact that you are a little bit scared, that you're doing something that kind of gives you the pucker factor. I mean, right? It's not an easy thing that you're doing. Talk a little bit about, like, how does your partner feel about this? You're not doing it alone, so you do have some support. How instrumental was having, someone you care about, someone you live with? How does that all fit in?
That was actually an interesting and difficult conversation. Now, she does not have the savings that I have. She does not work from home like I did. She's a nurse. She works in a place. And so when I came to her and said, hey, for mental health reasons, I want to go take a couple of years off. I want to go. She agreed because she's always up for something fun. But at the same time, she's leaving her employment. She's leaving everything that she has. And it's difficult for her, but at the same time, she's got a kind of job where she can come back and jump in or jump in anywhere.
What's the current plan as far as itinerary? Where are you going and how flexible are you?
We are completely flexible and we barely have anything planned. We're going to try to keep 1 month ahead of us. Initially, we're going to Costa Rica and Panama. That's all we've got planned right now, February.
So you have a plan, a way that you want to try and generate some income. I know about that because I follow you on YouTube. Tell me a little bit about kind of the YouTube aspect of this and how people can, find you and maybe support you in this journey that you're doing.
Well, that's the other fun and scary thing that I'm doing, but it's fun and scary in a fun and scary way. Meaning, I do have a YouTube channel, and I'm sure you're going to pop up the link somewhere in your description for viewers to see. It's a lifestyle channel, adventure and travel and everything, and just seeing what somebody our age, my age, is doing to experience life. Am I going to make it? I have no idea, but I'm going to try like hell. It's something I truly enjoy doing. And in fact, I think more than the travel, more than the adventure that we've been talking about, this is what excites me more than anything. I've been wanting to be a creative guy since I was 20. And you get stuck on the train of work, 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 house, 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 kids, kids, kids. And now I'm finally doing something that I really want. Is it going to work? I don't know, but I'm going to have a whole lot of fun trying. I'm going to have a whole lot of fun doing it. And that's really the impetus for this whole thing.
Not to overshare here, but you recently became a grandpa. And that's like a thing. And you're leaving the country Friday of this week. Like, this video will probably be hitting just about the time you're getting on a plane. How does it feel to be leaving the country when you got that grandbaby like they're googly-eyed, and slobbering all over you?
That's the hard part. When I had this whole thing planned, I didn't know that my daughter was pregnant. And I think that's really kind of a big key takeaway that we've got, is that life is going to keep pulling you back, whether it's elderly parents or a new grandbaby, who, by the way, is incredibly adorable. Things are going to happen which are going to challenge my decision to do what I'm doing. Now, fortunately, we have technology, and I can stay plugged in with the family, and I'm always a flight away if anybody truly needs me. But for folks my age who are so accustomed to being there for family, for fixing and helping and doing whatever, and to kind of have to voluntarily pull back, it's a bit of a guilt trip that you got to get over. But it's something that's important, I think. Folks need to do something for themselves as well as others, and it's something that we really have to relearn how to do.
One of the things that's driving this is there is a rejection of the status quo.
Now, a lot of people, what I'm about to say is going to be blasphemy. There's a certain American lifestyle where you go to college, you get married, you have kids, you buy a house, you buy a bigger house. I mean, there's a certain flow right through to having the grandkids come to visit you every Sunday. And for a lot of people, that's an incredible, wonderful experience. But it's not for everybody. For me, there needs to be something more. A different paradigm, if you will. And I think for a lot of folks, it's a matter of trying. Now, I know, Nick, you're calling yourself the try guy. You do a lot of try things. And I think that's something we tend to forget. We stay on that path. We stay on what we're supposed to do, and we don't realize we can try anything we want, anytime we want, and make our own lives, define how we want to live.
So the fact that you have identified this and kind of said, look, I've done for people for so long. I have been in, the sweet spot of American life. And at this point in my life, that's no longer working. I need to do something else. I think it's a great example. And I think that all of us who are, over 50 should be looking for opportunities to blow things up a little bit, okay? To kind of try something new, to get out of your comfort zone, to be a little bit scared. That doesn't mean you should put all your money into Bitcoin. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying, though, is that you've worked your whole life. I've worked my whole life to get to a certain point. Isn't it time that, I really took care of myself and put myself first? So I want to wish you all the best. I want to thank you for, spending a few minutes with me here. And I will, if you haven't seen it on screen or in a card somewhere, I'm also going to link your channel down below, because I think people should check you out and join you on the journey, which is going to be frickin' banger.